Yeah, that's great. I think my grandson's gonna be there too in a few years. Yeah, we're gonna honor our Taylor School District retirees. Anybody else want to, any other board members, I'm over here getting a line to shake hands, please feel free. Sure.
All right, so I'm going to start calling up our honorees tonight. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for the time you put into the Taylor School District. I know several of you from the many different locations I've worked in my career, and it's so glad to be here and to be able to honor all the dedication you did on behalf of your students. So first, I'm going to call up Denise Armstrong, and if you want to start on this side and work your way across. Start here. Teresa Bartram. Vasila Fournier. The question is, did I say it right? Is always the question. Well, you got it. Right? That's right. Gloria Kennedy. Suzanne Levitt. Lori Lizat. Lisa Lucas. Started here together a long time ago. Doris Plemons. Oh, there you go. Absolutely. Catherine Ronan. Deborah Rumor. Velda Stockdale. I'm gonna make sure I get fed every day. You already know. Martin Tomasian. Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, congratulations. Rita Zaleski.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How about one more big round of applause for those being honored here tonight? Oh, those were the ones. Oh, I was to say, we had some, looking down my list, come here. Oh, it was on the, not RSVP, but Linda Reyna, come on up. Trying to test my memory, trying to get on the list. Yeah. All right, I guess I should check anybody else before I move on to the next thing.
All right, and the last piece of good news that we have today is I just wanted to mention that our band, and say a great big thank you to the band and the color guard for going over to Wayne County Community College last week for Veterans Day. And from what I hear, there were not many veterans there, but the kids all did a great job. They ate, they helped clean up with very little direction, so they were fabulous. And Wayne County wanted to recognize our students. And there's a picture of them out there, the band and the color guard. So. And that's it. We can-
I have. good
Oh, you
news.
have good news too? Go ahead.
We had a, Stuff the Bus food drive on Saturday and Sunday. 15th and 16th, we had a Stuff the Bus food drive. It was it was cold and windy, but the weather didn't stop the community or the Taylor School District family from coming out and giving. First and foremost, we want to thank our dedicated and caring school district employees for giving up their weekends to feed students. Directors of Facility, Jack Gerard, Assistant Director of Transportation, Nishan Craig, Vice President Corey Morris, Board Vice President Corey Morris, Board Trustee Mark Westfall, and 26th member and newly elected Councilman Bill Patz. Whenever we had something, Bill was always there, ready to give of his time, and so was his wife Caroline. Our thanks also go to Linda Moore for providing us lunch, the Taylor Schools Utility Department for unloading the bus full of food, and with the generosity of Gordon's Food Service, the Collaborative, which is the company working with the district on the high school project, Superintendent Wager, our CFO, Dr. Hill, HR Director Pat Delatorre, Board Vice President Corey Morris, Jack Gerard III, believe me, there is a third. His son, Security Director Michelle Marshall, Administrative Assistant Patty Rosowski, and 26M member Trish Morgan. Along with others, we were able to collect $1,300, so we're not done shopping yet. Many current retired district employees came out to support the students. There was a large showing of Randall's staff and parents, as well as Miss Mazaris. She was also the reason that the guys had to go back on the bus and look for a broccoli salad from her lunch.
It was good.
This project was a huge success because of all of the community and the district support. We didn't get any, the only corporation we got was from Gordon's. Nobody else responded to my inquiry about it. But the dedication of district employees, past and present. We have a short video that of highlights created by our very multi-talented Assistant Transportation Director, Nishan Craig. And again, thank you to all who participated. You are appreciated, and our kids do appreciate you. Becky. Can you see it? Thank you. Thank you again. It was a great experience.
I just like to give an extra shout out to Kathy and the rest of the guys who were out there in the freezing cold, Mark and Jack and all of them, and to Sean. I couldn't do it, but I did say that next year, the guys all want to do it again next year, but I say it has to be in October when it's a little bit warmer. So credit to them because it was a cold weekend, wind blowing. So thank you for doing that.
I just want to piggyback off of, Kathy's good news with the food drive. Our community, gleaners, made a generous donation to our district and our students. They provided us in, $2,500 in Kroger gift cards so that their parents, within our district can, shop for their holiday, dinners, snacks,
Great.
all that kind of things. With the donation, the district was able to distribute gift cards to each and every school in our district, as well as provide, another $1,200 in gift cards for our food pantry. We have 5 pantries within our district, at different schools, so, that was huge with our pantry, food drive, and then that generous donation, so we have a lot of good things going
Yep.
on.
Well, and
Won't have any
to
hungry
go back
kids.
on that as well, we have, one pantry here and then 4 within, but all the buildings should have food pantries, and that's our goal. And I forgot to say that the food we collected will be distributed to our different food pantries, or they're gonna actually come in and go grocery shopping for
Yeah.
what they need. So these are going to all of the buildings.
Right.
But yes, I'm working with a couple of buildings that want a food pantry that have not been able to develop one yet, so hopefully they'll all have them.
Yeah. It is my understanding that it was offered to all the district, all the schools, right?
Nope.
Pantry?
No, ma'am, we'll talk.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Kathy's called out to talk to individuals, administrators, yeah.
That was my impression.
I
Yeah.
think those are things that happened before I was
Yeah.
superintendent, so I couldn't answer that,
That's all
to be
I
honest.
Yeah.
So who is hosting the pantry now then? You said there's one. Where's it hosted at? So it is this building. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They work-
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
There's pantries at THS, TVLA, Myers, Hoover, and then here at the board.
Right, okay.
So Randall's gonna pick up one and where else? Moody has one,
Moody has 2,
has 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bottom line is we should be able to feed kids, that if any kid, no kid should go hungry. So, good job, everybody.
Holiday season.
Okay, I think you're up. Stephanie?
Okay, moving on to the agenda, board and discussion items. Is there any revisions to the agenda?
yes, ma'am, I have 2. The first one I'd like on as number 7, under discussion, and then again, number 7, or I'm sorry, it's number 6, no, it's number 7. Number 7 is a time clock implementation discussion and time clock, action.
So it's number 7 for discussion and number 6 for action is what you said?
No, I think it's number 7 on both.
7 in both?
Yeah.
Yep. You're adding a new one to each. No, I mean, that's.
Pardon me?
I said you're adding a new one to each. There's a discussion, there's a follow-up action, correct? Yeah. I don't think the numbers are terribly relevant.
And then, I would like a number, well, it's number 6, but it's number 8.
Okay. For
Superintendent,
discussion and actions?
yes, discussion and action, superintendent vote of confidence.
What was that? I couldn't hear that. The second one.
Superintendent vote of confidence.
Superintendent, okay.
Okay. And then I believe there's another, revision. It would be item number 3. It's the front line. The motion is just to adjust, the amount individually by year. So it'll stay the same, you just have it broken in.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Steele. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Ms. Moore.
Just discussion. So we're doing a vote of confidence. We're discussing it, we're voting on it in the same meeting.
Yes,
Yeah, we're gonna do it during the,
It's-
we'll discuss it during discussion. This is just to revise the agenda.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think this should have been put on much sooner, so we had more time to think about this. This is,
that's good, but it's my motion.
okay, I'm gonna vote no. I'm just telling people I'm
Well,
voting no.
That's up to you. It's your vote.
That's fine.
Mr. Medarsky,
No.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes, Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Ms. Block,
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
that passes 6-1.
Okay, thank you. We have scheduled reports, audit updates. Come on up.
Good evening, folks.
Thank you.
My name is Mike McKenzie. I'm with Taylor and Morgan CPAs. We performed your 24-25 financial statement audit. We have PowerPoint. It'll be up in a second. We can skip to the end. That's fine too. Go backwards. There we go. You can skip to the next one. Pop down to the next one. So the most important thing that we do is provide an opinion on your financial statements. You received an unmodified audit opinion, which is the highest assurance that we can provide. We wouldn't really be having this discussion if it were anything other than that. A modified opinion means that we couldn't actually audit the district. So fairly standard. You guys are audited under both generally accepted auditing standards and governmental auditing standards. You're also subject to yellow book requirements. The big news this year is that the feds did not get around to approving the compliance supplement yet. So the state of Michigan, when they got around to passing their budget, carved out an exception to allow us 30 days once that is passed to do the single audit. So we know what programs we're going to select because that's math that isn't going to change, but we don't know what the programs are really going to be. Like, we know we're going to look at Title I, but we don't know what the Fed wants us to necessarily look at yet. When they issue that, we'll have 30 days to finish it up and issue the report. So while we can say now, in terms of the financial statement audit was great. We had no findings. We made no material adjustments. Hooray. That's everything we want to hear. Single audit is still a mystery to all of us because who knows what the Fed is going to ask us to look at. We think they're not going to change it based on the draft, but who knows? I don't know. Once they do issue it, we'll be working with the business office to wrap it up. We're not expecting any surprises, changes, or anything unusual. It's just super weird. This has never happened before. But it didn't impact your funding or anything like that. The state of Michigan worked their way around it. So good news all around. So we're just going to cover some like basic metrics of the district on the slides you see every year. You pop over to the next one. The most important thing that we look at is student count. It drives all of your spending and all of your revenue. You know, the state of Michigan provides the foundation allowance, which is based on head count. A lot of the federal funding programs are based on head count. Really everything gets boiled down to what is your head count every year. So we look at trends, where it's at. You guys have been fairly consistent over the last few years. You know, we hope you stay in that range because, flip over to the next slide. Like I was saying, the foundation allowance is your per head, per kid amount of money. For a couple of years, it was very flat. It went up this year. It's slightly more than $10,000 now. Great news. It's not where it should be probably. The state has been shuffling a lot of their funding into paying back the MIPSers, retirement deficits and things like that. That's been getting better. Your proportionate share of that came down significantly because the markets are in good shape as of the day they measured it. That number could change. Ultimately, it is what it is. They have to spend down this giant billions of dollars deficit that the state is carrying on their books for all the retirement obligations. So they hand you a bunch of money every year and you turn around and hand it back to them.
Yeah.
And so does every single school district. So it's nice that they're increasing this, like it being flat for 2 years between 23 and 24 is crazy because nothing stayed flat between 23 and 25. You know, spending goes up and they don't give you any more money is kind of problematic for everyone, right? Flip to the next slide. I think that's backwards. So generally we look at like, okay, who is paying the bills? For the most part, the state foundation grant, the unrestricted money you get is the biggest piece of your pie. Then you have federal grants and state restricted grants and property taxes. Property taxes really finish the pie piece for foundation. They take out kind of whatever you get and equalize things that way so that cities with more property taxes don't get like an absurd windfall in the money game that they play. But the state has started, I mean, we talked about this the last few years, they're restricted state grants where they give you a little piece of money for very specific spending. That continues. You know, I wouldn't expect it to stop. Just figuring out how you can spend the money they try to give you is the most important thing at this point. You know, if you're able to get it in and use the resources they give you, that's a great benefit to the school district. On the next slide, we talk about how you spend your money. You guys are in the business of basically employing people. You spend the vast majority of your money on salaries and benefits. You have a lot of teachers that are in the old MIPSers programs. You know, they're expensive in terms of benefits. It just is. This looks very similar in every big school district we look at. Pretty standard stuff. Go to the next slide. This is just our general revenue over expenditures in the general fund and funded programs. You guys keep your restricted funds separate, but really it could be part of the general fund if you wanted to present it that way. This year you budgeted very close to your expenditures. You can see over the COVID years we had added to fund balance. We had a lot of revenues over expenditures because a lot of the COVID money allowed you to supplant spending that you were already doing, which allowed you to save general fund money that you didn't have to spend on things. So great news. I mean, in the position you're in, like budgeting revenues and expenses to come in at a very close number is good. You're spending the money they're giving you, which is what you should be doing. So our overall fund balance, you know, since COVID, we were able to add a lot of money into our general fund balance, which is great news. It's a good war chest to be working from because, as we know, capital projects are expensive. Unexpected things come up. It's great to have a little bit of money in the bank because, you know, maybe the state doesn't pass a budget until October. The next one, the biggest number that we tend to talk about or get questions about on the financial statements for the governmental funds is the due from other governments. This basically represents the money that you're owed as of the year end that you haven't been paid yet. So the year technically ends in June, but your school year kind of continues for 2 more months, and we can spend money. We collect money from the state. We collect money from the feds, and then we have kind of a hard cutoff in August where the powers that be in accounting have decided that that is the time at which money is no longer available to last year's numbers. It's really next year's money. So you guys carry a very similar amount of money every year. We don't like to see giant spikes in this because then you don't have cash on hand. So very consistent, kind of what we like to see. We always keep an eye on food service. This one is generally always budgeted very close to where you're spending because the state doesn't want you to carry over a bunch of money. They are not a fan of that. You will get unpleasant letters from the state if you do, but spend the money they give you and it's not a problem. Kind of specific to you guys, you run a special ed fund that either the general fund contributes to or has like an indirect cost function of, and it has kind of worked back and forth. It's really a matter of what gets put into that fund versus there is some things in the general fund that fall into that bucket too. So for a few years, we were handing money back to the general fund, just little pieces of money. This year we had to contribute a little bit just to make it balanced, but nothing unexpected or concerning on our end. Big picture items. The retirement rate. This is the rate that you pay by dollar of payroll for teachers in the old pension programs, basically. It's very expensive. You know, when it costs you 45 cents for every dollar. MIPSers,
Okay,
yeah.
MIPSers.
So the state ends up netting this out. Like I was saying, they give you a bunch of money to hand back to them. So the rate's in the 45% range, but it nets to about 30%. 30 cents on the dollar is still an awful lot of money for benefits to be handing out, but you have no option in these things. It just kind of is what it is. And the best you can do is accurate budgeting that tracks these things and you can plan accordingly. This is kind of important. These numbers may have changed a little bit based on the gift bags you guys handed out, but you know, we have far more retirees than active employees. And you can see in 2015 or 16, that number crisscrossed, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse ever since. And it's not going to go in any other direction than that at this point. But you have far fewer people paying into the MIPSR system than you do. Even the new hires they're all defined contribution now. So the state has to figure out how to deal with this. And like I said earlier, it's by not giving you any more money for anything else if they can help it, because they give you millions of dollars to pay back this number. Yeah. Big change this year, which wasn't really a huge change. You guys adopted a new government accounting standard for compensated absences. So previously we recorded a liability for effectively your severance. You know, if a teacher leaves or retires, they have accumulated days that get paid out based on a myriad of factors. Let's just go with that. And GASB decided that that was not enough because you technically have other like PTO and sick time that people may have earned in the past that they could use in the future. So we had, poor Jill had to do, I don't know how much work to figure out how to calculate this number twice to make these adjustments. It is an adjustment to the government-wide statements, the like pretend the school is a business kind of thing. So it doesn't affect general fund, doesn't really impact any meaningful thing other than the statements at the front of the audit. It effectively doubled your liability. I don't necessarily agree with the methodology that GASB has approved here, because for the most part, if you have a teacher that makes a salary and they do or don't take their sick days, you're not going to necessarily pay them more money later. It doesn't really make a lot of sense if you sit and think about it too hard, but these are the rules and we implemented it, and you know, it is what it is. There's no big accounting standards coming down the pipe that will materially impact you. We expect next year to look very similar to this year in terms of the audit. The audit was great this year. We really appreciate the business office's help and assistance. I thought it went very smoothly. Does anyone has any questions about the audit, anything like that? We ask now, you can email me. Dr. Hill has my contact info, or someone else has my contact info, but I'm always here to help answer questions, clarify things, whatever I can do.
Thank you. Are there
Yeah.
any questions from the board?
So Dr. Hill, congratulations to you.
Yep. Congratulations to the team.
All right.
It-
Well
Absolutely.
done.
It is an endeavor, I'll tell you that. We will probably not do a presentation when single audit comes out because that is what it is unless we have something really meaningful to talk to. This is the important thing. So I'll see you guys next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, well done all. All right, now we are gonna move on to discussion items. Stacy Verspremi is gonna talk about 3 different things, but we'll start with Common Lit, ELA, instruction materials.
You ready for about 20 minutes of me? Just kidding. Before I start though, I want to commend Ms. Fields for the school drive for the food bus. I will also say that this is an ongoing problem all throughout the year. So if ever anyone finds so inclined, I know Ms. Schufelt mentioned it, we do have a food pantry here that always needs support. And I don't know if you've mentioned this before, but Ms. Schufelt is also coordinating with Ms. Jarvis, who does amazing work. I see her work with these families on a daily basis. A gift drive. So if you're ever around, there's a tree out front. You can grab a bulb that has a ticket for gifts. And those can be brought here by December 5th. And they will be given out to our families in need in the district. So again, thank you for that.
There's also a tree at Taylor High School for those that can't make it here. The high school is closer. There's a tree with a wish list of ornaments and tags there as well.
Okay, thank you again. So I have 3 proposals here tonight. The first one is for Common Lit ELA for grades 6 through 12 in the amount of $30,000 and $30,825. This will be paid for out of Section 31A funds. As it is a supported, high-quality, research-based Tier 1 support that also aligns to our strategic goal for our multi-tiered system of support. I want to thank our coordinator, Sarah Staton, who led this pilot. She worked with the middle school and high school teachers on implementing this pilot. We looked at a few different resources. This one is all green on Ed Reports, which is a research-based educational platform that looks at different curriculums and makes sure that they're aligned to not only the standards, but student use, teacher usability, and providing extra supports. So again, this would be grant funded out of Section 31A.
Are there any questions from the board with regard to this proposal? Second. Questions down there? Seeing none, let's move on to Jimmy Cassis.
All right.
Associates. I said that right.
So again, on behalf of the Taylor School District, we recommend the board approve the contracted services agreement with Jimmy Cassis and Associates in the amount of $48,500 as outlined in the professional services contract that you have. We began this work with Jimmy Cassis at the beginning of the year. He did some work with our administrators, and he also opened our keynote for the year that was very well received by everyone in the district. So with Jimmy Cassis, he will be working primarily with our high school principal right now. They come in and do a culture audit. So they talk to students, they talk to parents, they do some surveys and focus groups and the central office leaders. And then they do on-site leadership coaching with the parties that are in that contract. So right now we're focusing on the high school principal and the athletic director and working on the culture goal for our district through those services. And that will be Title II funded. I'm sorry.
So at this point, he's gonna be working with the high school principal or principals,
Yes, I'm sorry, the administrative team there.
administrative team, okay, and the athletic director and central office. Okay.
I think we also have some sessions for the admin team as a whole, but that's the main focus right now.
I just want to make sure that all of the high school team is
Yes.
included.
Yep.
In this. Anyone else have questions? See none, we will move on to Frontline.
All right, I'm going to bring up friends for this one. Come on. I don't need my iPad for this. Can I hit here? Oh. She's gonna hit that. I can go from there. Here, they're watching, do I have to say next slide? Okay, so, we are, on behalf of the onboarding committee, we were set with a task from Superintendent Wager to look at an onboarding platform for HR that is aligned to, go ahead to the next slide, our district goal for implementing a robust, efficient online system for recruiting, hiring, onboarding, and employee management. And we were looking for the adoption of K-12, a K-12 specific solution that unifies all of our HR functions in one place. And that is through the frontline HR system that we already kind of have pieces of already. We use it for our absent management and what else do we use it for? The AppleTrack. So it links to RISA's AppleTrack system. So any hirees that come through us, we automatically have all of their data collected. So it kind of reduces some of the paperwork and redundancy, both on our employee side and on the HR side. Next slide. So as part of the onboarding committee, we had union representation from TFT, TPA, Taxa 26M, Emily Graham, Dr. Hill, Jill Collins, but a big part of our team was Patty Rozowski, Pat Delator, Catherine Moses, and John, because it's all technology-based. John kind of spearheaded a lot of this with Kathy and Pat. We met several times, kind of like the 4 and 5 of us. We even went down to Woodhaven to kind of see how they use it as well. And Kathy kept taking notes and was all excited. She's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it could do this. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about where we kind of are now and what she sees for the future.
I'm short, so sorry. It's okay. My name is Kathy Moses, and I am the HR Administrative Assistant for Certified Personnel. When I was informed of this new frontline information that we received, that we could do a little bit more than what we are now. What we're doing now is it's a very it's not very streamlined. There's a lot of my checklist that I have 11 different areas that I have to go to put in information. 11 different Google Sheets, any type of things that are in the computer as far as frontline, access, smart, and it takes a lot of time. And so when I get 35 new hires, I can't get 35 new hires done in one day. I can maybe get one person done in maybe 3 hours. And that's if I just do that. Not any of my other work, no emails, no phone calls, no nothing like that. Well, when I went to the Woodhaven district, that they showed us the demo for this, it was amazing. There was a lot of things in there that I didn't even know we could do. Even with what we have now, there's things that we could utilize. And I never knew that. Nobody ever showed me, nobody ever told me. So it was very eye-opening. And I think that a lot of the information that we do get as far as what gets sent out, as far as forms, and I think it was the thank yous and no thank yous. There's a lot of forms and stuff that we have to do the paperwork and either have them come in and fill that out. It takes time. So because I have to sit with them, and then we have to do other, if they don't bring in the right stuff, then that file sits. And and then I go to the next person. And if they don't have the items that we require, it's very time
Can you
consuming.
move into how this is going to resolve those issues?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hopefully that this frontline central will streamline everything so that it's done quicker. Everything that the 11 items that I'm talking about,
Same place.
it's all in one area. Just,
Thank you.
yes. So John's going to talk about that, but that was an eye-opening experience for me. And I hope that we can get this system in place because I think it will be very beneficial for the HR department and what we do.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
So okay. So to talk about what Kathy's excited about and to get Kathy excited about technology really says something. And I'm not saying she's bad with technology. I'm saying she's really excited to get deeper into it. And one of the things that this system does is it's called Frontline Central. Now that's the piece that takes all the other pieces and connects them together. So if you will, if you look at the diagram here, you've got all of these different modules that are offered by Frontline. And it is the most complete solution that there is in education for hiring purposes. Now, what you see is all of these different applications that can work in concert with one another. But they cannot do that, and the data cannot connect from one application to the other without a product called Frontline Central. Frontline Central really makes all the magic happen in the background, and that back-end process is what takes the applicant information, automatically puts that into documentation that that person has to fill out when they come here on paper. So there's no more paper on pen. Instead, what happens is a product we already have and we already use is called AppleTrack. That's a Frontline product. It's called something different now, but everybody knows it as AppleTrack, and that's what each of us would have used to have applied for a teacher position or any other position that's put up in the district. Now, when you fill out your AppleTrack, other districts around you can also look into that system and perhaps steal you. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get on that hiring process as quickly as possible. Well, if we look and feel and we show that we're better at this process, then we will lose less people during that process. And that's one of the things that we're discovering is that we have lost people because of that. And I was really hoping that Mr. Hall could talk about that for a quick second, and then I can get into more of the neat stuff that the system can do.
So I was just kind of on the initial committee from the union end, and I can't say enough about Frontline. We already use it as, for our applicants and everything else. So it'll be a nice fit with that. I will say, I've had teachers that we've hired, and in the summertime, they give me a call and they're like, hey, I got these random calls and I'm getting offers from other districts. I'm like, wait a minute, you're not putting your application out there. Well, it was floating out in cyberspace and districts were searching. With this system, they'll be able to say they're hired, they take them out of the system, and we're marketing our people that we just hired. So we almost lost 3. And thankfully we got them to stay and everything else. But with this new system and what John's proposing and on all the training with it, once they're hired, they're marked as hired, we pull them out of the system. Of course, they can always opt in to put their application out, if they want to, but we don't want to put the beacon out there for, yes. And I will say with this, we're going to be running into this problem because we have a large group of people that were hired between 93 and 96. We're going to be hiring more people down the road. We will. And so this program is going to make it quicker, better, faster. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And to kind of bring this all together, when we look at all of this complete solution, a lot of these of our staff, even the finance team, have to manually type in people's names from the professional learning. So our teacher evaluation system, everything has to be typed and looked at every year. Did this teacher move to a different building? Someone has to put that in. With this solution, any moves that are made are automatic, so we can keep that track of that at all times. So again, it integrates with Rain RESA. So all of our applicants, they don't have to come in and put an address in anymore 5 times. Everything is pulled in. It syncs to our ASOP. So again, if a teacher moves from building to building, that's already done. No one has to figure that in anymore, along with our payroll and SMART. So again, with the implementation support from Frontline, they will do the configuration with Mr. Ross here and help us with that and any of our workflows. Because a lot of this will come down to processes as well. It's kind of cleaning up those processes and kind of using the gold standard. I mean, the frontline is the gold standard of HR hiring practices. So we're going to lean on them a lot to kind of take the HR processes that they have and make them work for us. They offer comprehensive training to all of our systems that will be using that, the frontline system, and look for a successful launch by summertime to make sure that we're ready for teacher hirings this summer. Again, if we know about like the age of our current hirees, they want things fast. We're living in an age where everything is instant. And if they're not getting calls back, they are going to different districts, like Mr. Hall said. So this system will send them an email when we are ready to hire them. And if unfortunately they're not ready to be hired, it will also send them an email saying, sorry, we've moved on to somewhere else. So those people know it's a courtesy. So they know that they can look somewhere else and they're not just sitting around waiting for a call. So again, it helps our employees, easy to access records, simplify workflows, and it also helps our school leaders know where the system is in the hiring. They don't have to constantly call Pat or Kathy saying, where are we with hiring this person? They can look and see where they are in the timeline of the workflow process at any time. So with that being said, I'm going to bring John up for one more time. Are you reading the numbers? Do you have the numbers? He has to read the numbers. They're not in there. Where you got them? I'm so used to one-year contracts that for grant things that.
And it has the ability, it'll notify the trust as well immediately when people are hired.
Yes. So one of the things like, and it's no fault of Kathy because she has to notify 11 different people. As a grant manager, sometimes people get hired and it's not just making sure that they get paid. They also have to have certain paperwork from my end to make sure that they're being accountable for federal guidelines. And I don't always get that out in a timely manner. And it's no fault of anyone. It's just, I'm not getting notified. And that's not just me. There's other people in the district that aren't getting notified of hires.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we've got something in there to make sure people have their health benefits when they're hired.
Yep.
How does this affect Ms. Delatorre? If this takes effect next week, are you prepared? Is your office prepared to oversee all of this?
But it would take some thought, very careful thought.
At $164,000 out of general fund, it would take some thought. Were you involved in any of the planning of this?
I was involved in bits and pieces. I didn't speak.
So it's coming out of your office, but the committee is running it? Are they now in HR?
Not that I'm aware.
I have an issue with it coming out of general fund. We tend to have programs that are not implemented and you lose money on that. And $164,000 out of general fund could be replacing teachers, principals, and support staff.
Understand.
So, my opinion.
Now, Mrs. Fields, to that point, I do want to let you know that I've been in IT for 25 years. I've seen a lot of technologies and a lot of promises, and I made a lot of promises earlier in my career because I thought that technology was the be-all end-all to make everything more efficient. 25 years later, I'm not going to tell you that anymore, but I am going to tell you that there's a process that we're offering right now that is going to do that. And to your point, well, it's not a next day thing. So Pat's not going to come into the office tomorrow and get up and running. We know that this is a 3 to 6 month implementation. And then we want to be up and running by time that hiring spree begins at the beginning of next school year, or even during the summer months. So we know that it's a hard, tough road ahead of us, but we're ready to take that on. And also to that point, what I've done is I've gone and asked for the contract to be structured in a way so that if this doesn't work for us over a 3-year period, we have an out clause after that 3rd year. So then, but I also have an option for a 4th and 5th year that says that they can't increase the price for that 4th and 5th year for any more than 3%. So it does build in some consistency with the pricing, and it's something that finance can prepare for in a year 4 and 5 without any surprises.
Get it in the other direction, and that is if it doesn't work, Now you've tried to reinvent the wheel. Now you gotta uninvent it and try to struggle to get some kind of normalcy where you don't have it.
To be fair, the wheel's been uninvented for a long time, and paper and pen has gotten us to where we're at right now, and we do need some automated processes.
Staff to try to get jobs.
Yeah,
I've
so,
fought that for years.
yeah, so my question is, you want us to vote on this today, correct?
That's correct.
How long have you studied this for?
We,
How long have you evaluated this for with the committee?
this particular application,
Yes.
well, I can say that the district has been utilizing Frontline at some capacity for, I don't know, before it was even called Frontline, to be honest.
No, but this upgrade you're looking at, like, when did you, I don't know, start to seriously think this might be a good thing?
I would say since Mr. Wegger's been in place, I mean, we've been having some
Months, can we
discussions
say
about this.
months at least? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of our strategic plan.
It is, and
Yeah, and that was kind of my concern
Yeah.
too, is that, I had asked multiple times, and other board members have too, that we're gonna have discussions, okay? And then the following meeting, we're gonna vote on it. So you're gonna present something and expect me to vote on it in a half an hour? So I'm gonna be voting no just for that purpose. I don't understand why you can't present something at one meeting and vote on it at the next meeting. So if you wanted this voted on at this meeting, right? You could have presented at the last meeting.
Yeah, that's
And you
not
also
really
could have-
John's
That's how the
decision.
city runs
That's
it,
not
the
his
school
decision.
district.
Pardon me?
That's really not John's decision. That's.
What I'm just explaining though, during the discussion, why I will be voting no. And just in general, why people should send us this background information weeks ahead of time. So I'm just saying,
Following the process that's given.
no, I'm just saying the process is broken, especially for things like this. Thank you.
Pat, how do you feel about this program for the HR department? When we went out to, Woodhaven, it was an eye opener, and I think that it does have a lot of capabilities that we can, build in, and it could make us more efficient, down the road. The big heavy lift with the committee and the group is going to be making sure we can get everything put over and we could do it timely, and we have the instructions and we have the training to become efficient so that.
So your overall thought process is this would be beneficial to our district?
At the end of the day, yes.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Thank you. Next, we'll move on to student reinstatement. Mr. Gribble.
As soon as my mic's working, 'cause I know we're having some difficulty hearing, I will add in. You're welcome. Usually I don't need a microphone, so if So-
I didn't think you needed one.
if my mic's not working, I'm sure everybody can hear me.
Yeah,
So,
we can.
in your packet, you have a reinstatement for one student who was out for a year. You can see that information in there. Knowing that Mr. Hall is in the audience, I'm sure he can help give a thumbs up. He was a part of the process in regards to the reinstatement for this, in regards to seeing the changes in this student. So, yep, there's Mr. Hall. He was a part of when we had this hearing for this individual, but you can see that the results for that is for the student to be reinstated in the conditions that are in place.
Any questions from board members? Thank you. Seeing, we'll move on to Mrs. De La Torre, Michigan Association of School Personnel Conference.
Thank you. I'm asking the board tonight to approve a conference for me to attend the Michigan Association of School
Can you
Personnel.
get closer? I can't hear you.
I can't hear.
You need to use
Can you hear me?
teacher voice.
Your mic's not on.
Gotta use the same voice as Jason down there.
Yeah, you don't have a teacher voice, Pat. There you go. All right. Thank you, Pat, and it is general funded. Those on the board didn't see it. Thank you. Public address system. Mr. Ross.
Good afternoon
Afternoon. Evening.
and good evening. All right, so earlier in the year, you had given us the go-ahead to put in a new public address system over at Kenyon for emergency reasons. We found that Kenyon's PA system was not working at all, and they had been using to the lack of our knowledge, they had been using an old fire system alarm and just utilizing that to do all calls, which wasn't working necessarily in every room and working correctly. So we went ahead and did that. And what we did was we sat on that. We wanted to make sure that that installation went well because this is a new partner of ours. They're a REMC partner as well, so it's already been pre-bid by the REMC organization. Now this one is coming from a security grant, but this is a new public address system for Randall. Randall's been deemed as the second worst in our district as far as PA systems go, and Kenyon obviously went to the front of the line. Now Randall was at the front of the line until we found out that Kenyon wasn't working at all. So this would essentially just take that same system that we put in Kenyon, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing at Randall. And the reason is because we were so happy and satisfied with this company that came in within a few weeks, and they're willing to work nights after school at no additional cost as well to get the system up and running. They come in, they do unlimited training. Mrs. Sweet over at Kenyon has been more than satisfied. Matter of fact, I'm going to go over there Friday and talk about a couple other new features as well. And one of the reasons we want to go forward with this system throughout the rest of the district as needed is because they can also interconnect throughout the whole district. So in the case of an emergency, maybe a tornado is coming through the district, you can do district-wide paging all from one device or computer or wherever you are going to be paging from. So with that being said, the paging upgrade for Randall, which currently Randall has no outdoor speakers or hallway speakers, and it's just an all call to all of the classrooms themselves. That cost overall for that would be $65,612. And that would not only give them the brand new system that Kenyon has, but also give them the advanced capabilities and also allow them to interconnect with any further schools that have the same system in the future. Any questions? No.
I thought you were finished.
I think you were saying the same thing I was. Any
Okay,
questions?
Questions, okay. Any questions from the board?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now we're going to move on to number 7, discussion with regard to time clocks, and I'll turn that over to Kathy.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of history so we can get updated. Excuse me. On November 20th in 2024, a new time clock system for payroll to use was voted on by what I refer to as the past board's lame duck session. This process was to be used on only one of the 4 unions, the support staff. The equipment had been ordered and was received in December of 2024. I still stand with my opinion that the process will not work in certain divisions. I waited to see how it would work and had asked multiple times, when was it going to be implemented? However, it's been close to a year, and it's only after I had been questioning it again, one-time clock was dispatched to, in a small department, to, try out. I stated on November 20th at 24 that this was a waste of money, and since it's been a year and payroll is going smoothly without the clocks, why do we continue to try to reinvent the wheel? I see no need to further pursue this process since it's obviously not a priority. I also believe when this was first brought to the previous board for a vote, contract language had not been followed, and as of Friday, November 14th, 2025, it still had not been followed. I personally will not vote or support anything that is in a violation of anybody's contract. We need to cut our losses and continue on. So under action item number 7, I will be making the motion that the purchaser sell the unopened existing equipment, which is stored in the warehouse, and any implementation of this process cease, and the district continues with their current payroll process. That's number 7.
Questions from the board?
Yeah, I have a question. So, okay, I like kind of liking what you're saying, especially since it was passed during a lame duck, right? But it sounds procedurally like you want us to rescind a previous board resolution. We just need to know what the resolution date was to make this official.
I just told you, November 20th, 2024.
But do we have like a resolution number? I mean, is that all it's gonna take?
School district politics is altogether different.
I know, but we've read policy numbers. I'm just saying, do you have?
It's not a policy. It's a motion. It was a motion a year ago.
Okay,
That board passed it. They purchased the items. They never implemented the process.
okay, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, do we have an agenda item number something? I'm just saying, I understand the date, okay, but is there any other way we can reference this in the action item? That's all I'm saying.
Well, I didn't pull up the action item from a year ago.
That's what I was asking
I
for.
have the
Okay,
dates.
okay. I mean, I guess we can work with the dates, but I'm just saying, that's all.
Why?
So I think Dr. Hill can speak to it probably a little more deeply, but it's not that there hasn't been work being done within, for the implementation piece.
Testing phase.
A year,
just
and
started
a year worth of
testing
testing?
You don't want to go live and then it's a disaster. So we started, with a small test, and then we were gonna test some hourly TFT, because the system was only to track hourly staff and have that be more done efficiently. That was the will of the last board, as an improvement process. So we were gonna start with we started with a small test group, and then we were gonna expand to the TFT hourly, and we were ready to do that now.
TFT doesn't have hourly.
Yes, they do.
Who?
We do,
ATAs.
ATAs, building subs.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know, the building subs
But,
early, but
and then, we got pushback from, 26M's group, and I was told that it needs to be revisited. And so, whatever the will of the board is, we support the will of the board.
Well, we paid a license fee, correct?
We did.
Okay, did we pay for this year that we did not use?
We probably paid license fee this year. but
Okay,
that's all.
so if we paid a fee for it, we've already lost money. It's a violation of a contract.
Now, I don't know which contract we're violating.
I do. It's a violation of a contract that still hasn't been corrected. How the process came about. And one bargaining unit is being singled out.
No,
If it was district, you know what, Edwina? It is what it is. I'm standing by this motion.
That is,
I think this is not gonna work, and it didn't start to get implemented until a week or so ago when, and I'm not gonna put him on the spot, when one of our smaller departments just now was given a clock to implement. Just now, after a year.
Okay, so just for the parents and residents at home, can someone explain briefly what this process is as compared to the existing process?
Well, this was supposed to do, it is to accurately track all hourly staff. Right now, we track hourly staff with pen and paper, which, you know, most companies, they use a time clock. People swipe in and out to track time. Here in this district, we track it using pen and paper, which is not as efficient.
Isn't that how you're tracking the, contract people? Is paper and pen?
No,
So this new system is essentially a time card that you punch in and out. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I just, okay,
But
want clarification. That's all I want.
Mr. Madarsky, what she's not explaining is in the group, there are divisions. One division is Division A, which are the bus drivers and the maintenance. We have X splits. That means punch in and drive, punch out 20 minutes later or an hour later, whatever the time is. Punch back in at a building, do your building time, punch back out. Punch out for lunch, punch back in. Punch back in again at transportation to drive, punch out and go punch into a building. It's not gonna work.
Right, so now what you're saying is in that situation, I'm, this employee, and I have these multiple job functions, in various locations. I'm just gonna say, hey, I got here at 8 AM. I left at 5 PM. That can be reviewed logically to make sure I did my stuff, and that's how we do it now, correct? Something like that? Am I understanding?
Right now, we have department heads, our principals see their employees coming and going. They keep track. Yes, it's on paper.
Right.
The secretary enters it into the system and her secretary is supposed to review it and make sure the numbers are correct. So it does go into a system.
Right.
Then I hear, well, the contractual staff uses what is the attendance thing?
frontline.
Okay, so the frontline program for,
management?
what is it?
Attendance management?
Attendance,
That's it.
Frontline.
okay. The certified, the non-certified staff also have to use that for attendance. Some of them do, so the ones that don't are the same ones this clock's not gonna work for. It's because of the duties and the time. All Jack has to do is pull an alarm report. He can get the times that the people have punched the alarm in and out, which would be the same thing. To me, it's spending too much money. It wasn't handled properly and contracts were stepped on. And I don't care if it was the superintendent's contract, the CFO's contract, or Jason's contract. I'm not stepping on anybody's contract. And that's exactly what this did.
When they're punching in and out at the different, like the bus garage or building, is that information going directly to your office and you're able to pull that, or your secretary is able to pull that, or how is that being?
In the frontline system, when they swipe, then it's stored in that frontline system. But like Kathy said, it's complex because you have bus drivers and they do splits. And they may do maintenance part of the day and then drive a bus part of the day and they stop and they start. And
It's the same with our cooks. Our cooks now, when they get off work, have been riding buses to monitor buses. So now you not only have somebody punching in and out as a cook, now she's got to punch in and out as a cook, but in transportation. It's gonna be a nightmare. I'm warning you. I disagreed with it then, I disagree with it now.
I just don't understand why it's taken so long.
because it's so complex, you know, we had to put in so much information. Everything had to be built in Frontline and set up in Frontline. And because of the complexity, just like what Kathy was talking about with the different divisions, you know, if we miss something, then we gotta go back to the programmer and set up that split or that change. And we have to keep doing it, and then they have a bidding process that will complicate things. you know, when people bid in and out of jobs, then you have to.
Yeah, and I
bid
think,
things.
so if there's
Stephanie,
definitely part of what
on
you're
your
looking
end because somebody punched in and out wrong or didn't punch in or out, you got it done. So they're not gonna receive the proper pay because of
No.
your screw up.
No, you know what, we're always able to make corrections, just like you.
But they
Yeah,
don't
but I
do
got
that
paid today.
after
I'm
the
short now.
fact.
I can't make my bills because your product isn't working right and I'm not getting paid.
They're the same for everything. You know, except it's a little bit more electronic than paper. You know, right now you have the secretaries at the different locations that are putting in information. And they'll still be putting in information, except, you know, they don't key it in. Now it's uploaded into the system.
They can key it in wrong just as much as it can be punched
They
in
can
wrong.
key it in. wrong,
Trust me, they don't key it in wrong when you're dealing with somebody's paycheck stuff.
They can.
And we can make corrections in both systems.
So what is this costing us a year then?
The system costs about, it costs about, I believe about, initially it was $64,000 initially. And I believe the renewal was about like 27,000.
If it works perfectly, how exactly does this save us money? What is the goal of this? I'm not really understanding what we were trying to do here.
Because, the goal is, you know, paper versus swipe, you know, there's an efficiency in it. You know, if you're swiping and all you have to do is swipe and then the information feeds into the, frontline system and nobody has to key it, that's more efficient than somebody keying it into the system.
When it's a 9 to 5, I agree. And if you put every single employee in this district on it, I would not say a word. However, one bargaining unit is being targeted. That's where I have my issue. Now, okay, there's gonna be a handful of
The
TFT
TFT, I don't know. Yeah,
that,
there's-
that also would be involved. The process of getting it to the last board was improper in my view. I've been very quiet about this issue and it's been a bug of mine because I was waiting for it to be implemented to see how it was gonna work. It's not been implemented. It's not that important.
We have been testing.
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
do want to
it's been-
clarify.
It's one test of PRC, one clock.
No, you know, we had 2 employees that were punching in and out, testing the system because we have to test it. You just can't go full live, you know, with all these employees and then the people don't get paid.
But we already paid a big chunk of money for this year.
So
You know, we
it's,
have
and
invested.
has it been more accurate?
On 2 people?
Her answer, you keep cutting her off.
Well, because this is an issue with.
Is it more accurate with where you've been testing it?
It's accurate. You know, because
It's
just like other,
PRC.
just like other businesses, I'll say this. It's like other businesses with their hourly staff, they swipe as opposed to doing things on paper. You know, it just all depends on, you know, what the pleasure of the board is, which is fine, but it takes time to implement these systems.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to clarify. It's not like this has ever been nobody working on this in the last year. There has been people working with Frontline, but there are lots of complexities and that is part of what the.
Well, that's not the way I understood it,
So
Mr.
how-
Carter. That,
Until it's gonna be, it would be fully implemented.
I would say, you know, if we were to keep going, you know, we could be fully implemented by the beginning of next year if we didn't have any pushback from any unions.
well, you didn't do it right, so you're gonna get pushback.
Are you gonna get a grievance or an unfair labor practice from 26M? Or did you already?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay, okay, well, once it's implemented, you probably will. Okay.
Okay, but, you know, if you get pushback and, you know, you have unions telling their members, you don't participate, then that, you know, slows up the process.
Union leaders shouldn't be telling their members not to
But
participate
no,
in something that's a directive.
what they were told was they had to wait for a directive.
Yeah, yeah, and
So-
that's exactly how it should be. a
When
directive.
there's a directive, then they have to participate. They cannot
Right.
refuse.
And I will say this, you know, it all depends on what the desire of the board is. If you want to go back to the, you know, the pen and paper, and that's what you want to do, that's fine. If you want to invest, you know, time and getting this time clock up, that is wonderful. Because, you know, if you look at other companies, they're swiping in and out. They're not.
But they're.
They work 8 hours a
Guys,
day
you're-
straight,
you're-
so.
Apples and oranges at Quinna.
We work 8 hours a day. We don't work a straight 8 hours.
Everybody needs to do it, whether their salary or not, it needs to be, everybody needs to be.
doing it.
That's how it was. My impression was that's what we were doing. Is
That's
that
what the
still
goal
plan?
was, because we did have an issue, and then there were other allegations of time theft.
Yeah.
Right, but those
So what-
people were fired.
Those people were fired.
Correct.
However, there were other allegations, and there was no way to prove it.
Well, you
So
can't,
when
you
we-
can't prove it on any of the other employees in the district either. You're taking them at word. I've seen it. You park outside of some of these buildings before school lets out.
Well,
and you're
that's
gonna
how
see
those
it.
3 were caught. Somebody had to track them physically. This
No.
was in an effort to
I'm
not
talking
have
about people who
that.
would not have to do the clock.
Well, but
Well,
that's.
it is what it is.
The goal was that everybody was gonna be doing it.
Correct.
Didn't matter who you were. Everybody, if you worked for Taylor School District, they were
Can
gonna
we-
be swiping it out.
Can we
correct?
recognize Eric since he's the president of 26M? I think he's got something to.
Yes, yeah.
Eric
fine.
Barber, President 26M, the testing thing, no one even talked to us about it. She gave someone a directive to do this. I got people calling me saying, we have to start doing this. It's news to us. You know, I keep track of people's time. Worked at utility, we were leaving to go to work at 3:30 this morning, and start salting at 4 o'clock. That's, you know, and then you got problems, plumbers take care of the problem, they work till end of their shift. We put cameras in the building, all the cameras in these buildings are on 26M members. There's no cameras in the classroom, they're in the hallway, they're on top of the secretary,
Well, we're talking about the time clocks, Eric.
but we're being scrutinized. Our union, I feel, is being scrutinized.
You're saying, what we're saying when we implemented the want for the time clock was that everybody is going to be doing it. How they sent out the testing, that's on you guys. How you implemented where you're testing, that's on you guys at your level. But when we implemented doing the time clocks, it 100% was for everyone.
But
We
that
also-
wasn't the motion.
We were getting complaints from every area that people were it was time theft going on.
It was
From
for the hourly
every
employees,
Single.
26M.
Well, what also will happen with support staff is, and you and I talked about it, Stephanie, if there's a game going on and you have to wait to clean, you have to get paid overtime. And when I asked Lynn about that, she said, oh, no, you get paid 8 hours. Right now, if they talk to Jack about it, or if they can leave for it, they have to make up their time. That will not be able to work with this straight
Yes,
swipe
but-
in, swipe out crap.
Yeah, I'm not disputing there was time theft. I agree with you, but this system doesn't sound like it's really gonna catch it any better than the security at the Louvre saved the stuff from being stolen. They're just doing something different, and I don't even see how this is gonna really do much. We're wasting money. I don't see a result here. Yeah. Time theft's the problem. This is not the solution, I don't think.
I have all the receipts of the time theft that happened because my time clock was lied on.
Yeah, can we have you speak during audience participation?
Oh, I'm sorry. I seen an audience member speaking.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
thought I
he's
was
the
on.
president of the bargaining unit on the committee. We definitely want to hear from you. though.
Yes,
But
Well, I
the
thought we were
appropriate-
well, just point of order. I thought we were allowing audience participation for agenda items.
During the count, this is an account.
During the what?
During the committee of the whole.
No, it's coming up. It's once we finish the discussion, that's the
So
next.
during the action section. that the-
Before the action.
Before the action. she
Oh,
gives
okay,
us
okay.
Before the
okay.
action.
That's why we
Yes.
built it that way.
That's why, okay. I think
Yeah,
I was
we wanna
confused
hear
too.
what she has to
Okay.
say.
I'm done with
But-
that stuff.
Yeah, not for everyone.
Okay, are there any more questions from the board? On
No.
this or comments? All right, let's move on to number 8, the confidence, vote of confidence. Kathy, that's up to you up again.
On a roll. All right, superintendent vote of confidence. These past months, our district superintendent and board members have been under attack on social media. I see it every day. The base of most of the attacks consist of opinions, misinformation, and rumors, all without facts or truth. Yes, we are all human. Mistakes do happen. When a mistake happens and is brought to this leadership, corrections are made. When all this negativity is being cast at our leadership, in my opinion, that reflects this entire board. The superintendent is the board's responsibility. Therefore, I will be making a motion to put it on record how we as individual board members view the leadership and integrity of the Taylor School District Superintendent, Mr. Michael Wager. So my motion will be the Taylor Schools Board of Education has confidence in Superintendent Michael Wager's integrity to lead, follow laws, ensure the safety and educational process of all Taylor School District students. That will be the motion.
Is there any discussion from the board?
Yes, I do. We do have an evaluation process for the superintendent. I have no problem with the superintendent, but in parliamentary democracies, you have a no confidence vote if there's a problem. And normally you just don't vote on confidence. This is strange. The only place I've heard of this happening is in like authoritarian regimes like North Korea, Iran, China. They say, oh, we're going to have confidence votes on the leaders. No, this is inappropriate. No, I'm just not going to vote on this. I'm not going to vote yes on this. It has nothing to do with my opinion of Mr. Wager whatsoever. It has to do with just holding these confidence votes for no reason at all. And, there is some issues I do have with the district. Okay. And so I don't exactly have confidence. I mean, there's investigations that are supposedly ongoing. I've never been briefed on them. I've gotten no information. I've never gotten a written legal opinion on anything from our attorney. I don't know how that doesn't happen. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that shouldn't be happening. And then I've also said, and I thought we talked about this, that we were going to get backup information on what we were voting on in a timely manner to study it. Well, that clearly didn't happen today. He wants to redo the whole tech thing, and we have a half hour to discuss it. There was no reason we couldn't have got backup material weeks ahead of time. So I'm voting no on this for those reasons, but the whole concept of holding confidence votes. What was that?
Information in a timely manner.
So you got all of that tech background. How'd you get it exactly?
It's in your email. All of the stuff that they presented was in your email.
Now, if it was in the Google Drive, I'm not getting it. I've been saying I'm not getting it. I've been telling you I'm not getting it.
PDF.
Attached to your email on Friday.
Okay. Really? Because I didn't see that.
Hey, you gotta
But
look at the
here,
email.
you're missing my point is, let's say I got that guy, okay? Let's pretend I did. I don't think I did, and we can debate this later. I still said we should be having a discussion item on something this important, meeting one, and then the following meeting, which would be roughly 2 weeks later, is when we would vote on it.
That's how the city does it. Yeah, I know.
No, that's how a lot of places do it because it gives the public time to study it. And then the other issue with this PDF that I don't think I got, let's pretend I did. I also said, and I thought we agreed to it, it would be posted to the general public, that the backup to the agenda items would be published on Friday. So members of the public could read the background too,
The city
not
never
just
said
me.
That was never decided on.
Well, wait a minute, she said this in there, so let's focus on that. I know I discussed it. Is the background available to the public on Friday, yes or no? 'Cause I don't think it is. Okay. Well, so that's why I don't have confidence, because it should be available to the public on Friday, because it's public record.
Agenda available to the public.
I did talk about the backup materials too,
Information isn't given to the board.
but that is public record. It really is though. Yeah, but if you FOIA it, they have to wait at least 10 days after the meeting to get it.
Well,
That's
it's your
pointless.
opinion, Mr. Bedard.
Well, that's why I said I have no confidence. That's why I'm voting no.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more?
You should earn confidence. How about that?
Is there any more discussion from the board on this motion? Okay, we will move on to action items.
No.
Public.
Oh, I'm sorry, public comment. I have all my scribbles. Where's the young lady that was gonna talk about time clocks? It's your turn now. Yes, oh, yeah, that's right. I've got to read my script too, so I'll get started on that. Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome everyone to the Taylor School District regularly scheduled board meeting of November 19th, 2025, where our mission statement is to educate with purpose, engage with passion, empower the future, and our vision statement is that we will create a welcoming and innovative learning environment that nurtures the whole child, empowering every student to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Thank you to all of you who came to be with us tonight. We understand the importance of continuing to keep you informed and providing an opportunity for you to be heard. Public comment will begin with those in person and then move to our online audience. For those in person, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. After the in-person comment, our online audience will need to find the raise hand symbol for our moderator to recognize and unmute you. Please take into consideration common courtesy, refrain from any personal attacks, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. We will provide an assist with timekeeping so that each guest will be able to monitor their own time and know when to conclude, so all who wish to speak will have an equal opportunity to do so. As a reminder, if any questions arise during this meeting or through other avenues, Superintendent Wager or his designee will work to provide answers in a timely manner. Please note that the views and opinions expressed by individual board members are their own and do not necessarily represent the official position or consensus of the Board of Education. This portion of the public comment is reserved for comments regarding business discussed on this agenda only. There will be another opportunity later in the meeting for general comments. Thank you.
Yeah, so a lot of what was said was false. What you said about the people that were lying on their time clock being fired, that was false because I ran into the woman that lied on my timesheet and falsified her time. And then after I started taking pictures of the timesheet, I watched as it was signed off on these times and they still had a job. I was also verbally attacked by somebody else that was caught lying on her timesheet.
Was that here?
That was here in the Taylor School District. I stopped working for the Taylor School District because of
Wait
all
a minute, did you work, were you, a special education aide?
I was a pair.
So you, yes, and the way I understood it, hours were work that had not been approved and you expected payment for non-approved overtime hours.
No, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual hours I put in, and I have all the pictures and I have all the proof. I watched and added up the numbers. A contract employee making $25 an hour was lying on their timesheet religiously, and in 1 month got paid $1,000. The employee
that in?
I let the principal of the school know. I've been emailing about it. This is part of the reason why I quit my job, is because I have felt nothing but retaliation for addressing these concerns. Same thing with I've seen at previous meetings, staff, students addressing concerns, and it's being dismissed. That was one of my biggest issues. And then you said that they were fired. That's a lie, because I just ran into them at the meeting or at the RISA thing that we did.
No, there were people that had misused time that were fired.
Okay, but I'm telling you, the woman that lied on my timesheet, and I have the proof, she is still employed as a paraprofessional and moved to a different school.
Okay, I wasn't talking about your issue. I was talking about what brought on the time clock scenario.
I brought it up at the last board meeting.
You did
because-
not bring up the initial time clock scenario that was.
No, that
November
was,
20th,
okay, I brought it up at the last board meeting about there being a time clock
Yes.
put in place.
Yes.
And then I was informed that you guys have had the time clocks for quite some time now that haven't been
Year.
utilized.
They've not been up anywhere.
Right, that's a problem.
Right.
I have a clarifying question. So when you fill out your timesheet, you give it to the secretary, correct?
Everything is done paper and pencil. It's all in the same spot. My timesheet got lied on because they're all down the list.
Oh, so you don't hold on to your timesheets, it's at the
No.
building?
I don't have
I'm
any,
just trying to figure out
I
what
don't
the
have any
process is.
access to it.
Linda, it stays at the building, the principal has to approve it, and then it goes to special ed, since she's a special ed aide.
Okay,
therefore.
gotcha. I'm just trying to figure out process. Thank you.
So I'm just saying, it's an issue, and for you to say that that is violating other people's contracts, what about the people that are falsifying their timesheets. They're getting paid more, like, well, more than anybody else. These pairs make $17 to $25 an hour. I was making $12.69. And the only reason why I caught it is because the person, when I left at 11:30, she put down 12:15 on my timesheet. That's how it got caught. You can't tell me they're all caught, because I've seen it happen since last year when I started working as a parapro. So it's kind of insulting to say, talk about contracts being violated and this and that, but what about my rights to my pay?
So in your situation, did you go from building to building like we were talking about? So it was that one building, you basically, you would have punched in and punched out, is what you're saying if there were a time clock.
Down my time on a piece of paper. That's why I started taking pictures of the timesheets. That's how I caught everything else.
So you feel you were shorted because you wrote down like a time, 8 AM, and it got changed later in the
So,
process?
I wasn't shorted, no. The problem being is that I went to clock out at 11:30 and on my timesheet, it said 12:15. The person that did it had left 20 minutes prior to that. Then I started noticing a repetitiveness of my time clocks being crossed out, my times being lied on. And then as I noticed down the list, I noticed employees that were writing false times on their timesheet and getting paid for it.
Now, you did realize you, as a special ed para, that you do get a paid lunch, which would have jumped your time up 45 minutes.
That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so
I
at
know
this
what
point,
you're
you don't
talking
think we owe you any?
That's not what I'm talking. I'm
I
talking
know
about.
what you're talking
I-
about, but
no.
I want to just ask you if
I
you're comfortable
finished
with
going
what you
through all
have.
of my pay after I realized that it was a problem.
Right.
After taking the pictures, I haven't finished going through my pay.
Okay.
I'm not all that worried about it. My biggest issue was the fact that you guys are literally paying people to not be at work. That is what's happening.
So certainly we can
And
address
if
that,
it's
but yeah.
happening at one school, I have no doubts that it's happening at other ones.
So under this scenario that you're discussing, I'm being hypothetical. You have a worker, they leave at noon, but when they leave at noon, they write 2 PM on their time card.
Yes, exactly what
And-
was happening.
And nobody catches it because,
Exactly what was happening is employees were supposed to start at 8 o'clock.
or they were coming in late. Okay.
They were late at least 30 minutes and they left early at least 30 minutes.
And these are hourly employees, you're correct, like our interventionists and our,
From what I looked at, it's been hourly and contract employees. Contract employees do time clocks differently from my understanding. I don't know, wasn't a
but you know,
contract
if
employee.
you're, yeah, I think more of teachers in a classroom and they have to be there because the kids are there. They're like the people that don't have a classroom is what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's the my sheet was the para pros, the
Okay.
paraprofessionals on there, the contract ones, the district ones and the permanent ones.
Okay.
But like I said, it was a combination of multiple people lying on their timesheet. And like I said, if it's happening in one place, it's probably happening in other places. And I added up the numbers and you guys were losing a lot of money.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comments regarding the agenda items? Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, Mr. Wegger. We're from Hemini, Dearborn, October 2022, remember? The surveys that went out. Yeah. But anyways, I just wanted to explain, Ms. Fields, the license and the certification for what you're talking about, usually it's a 4-year step that you guys give the money to. So I would look into that if I was you. Other than that, when you implement and opt into a pilot, you end up paying the full price, but you do it 4 years for the certification. So every 4 years is updated and then you have to pay in for a new certification. But why wouldn't you explain that to them? On top of it, along with the HR, everything else, Taylor's a mess. For once, I can say I am proud to be from Dearborn. I can be proud because it's run properly. We may have our issues, but this right here is dysfunctional. And I picked my board apart and he's my witness because he knows what I did to my district. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Next. Anyone else here in person wishing to address the board? Anybody online?
On agenda items.
She's coming up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'd like to understand, what are the qualifications to bring students back? You said they had to go through certain things, you had to have an agenda, you had to make sure with the psychiatrist, with everyone else. What happens when a teacher is attacked by a student? They're given 3 days, maybe 5. Come on. What about, I'm old, but I can remember fights with students in the hallways. That was kind of fun, especially after lunch. You didn't want to get back to class. But these are students that are attacking with knives, with guns, and you're gonna reinstate them? Give me a break. What do they have to do? Kill somebody? And why would any teacher want to come to this school board or this school system with the reports we get every week from the newspaper, from, I can't think of her name right now, that reports all the crimes going on, all the things that are happening in the schools. And I'm not talking about the high school. I'm talking about the elementary schools. Kids bringing in weapons. Well, they just had it. They weren't going to use it. Then why are they in our school system? I can't comprehend what your thinking is.
I'll let Mr. Waker address that if you'd like to or no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you leave your name and number? Because
I sure
feel
will.
like you're referencing some very specific items that we would want to look into, because obviously we take.
There hasn't been
50%.
one teacher attacked by a student in this school system.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying. if
I'm
there are
saying
specifics,
they're
I would like to
happening,
talk to you about.
and nothing is happening.
Excuse me, miss, is there a specific circumstance you can cite that we could reference to look
You know
into?
Do you want me to look up on the news Herald?
I would love for you to send that information to our superintendent so we
Yeah,
can look into that
absolutely.
properly.
You deny these things that I'm stating?
No, I would like to know so I can look into it.
You don't have a record of it?
Okay,
You don't have a record of it? Give me a break.
Yeah, well, we follow the procedures and
So
we
what
have
else?
special.
That's what I'm
Can
asking.
can I finish, please? Our special education students, and I don't know whether any of these are involved, have different rules and regulations that we have to follow.
And you know,
So anyway, leave your information. with
and I know
Becky,
that
and we'll give
because
you a
my
call.
my daughter, my grandson is autistic. So
It's mine.
he has gone to court. So I know there are certain things that special ed can't do about. If there's special ed, if they can qualify for that, I know the schools can't do certain things. But I don't think anyone coming into these schools should worry about their life.
Yeah, reinstatement hearings are held, they're individual, they're personalized,
Oh, I know.
based on who the student is.
I understand that.
And so it is a panel of people that make that decision and then bring it to us and we. you know,
Maybe I
count
could
it out.
send my
Thank
daughter.
you.
and
But we have to
grandson,
know
because
specifics
she has
before we
gone
can
through all
investigate
that training.
anything. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else in person? Okay, anybody online? No, you said no. Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to bring up that she was cut off numerous times. I don't know what she was, she was talking in board policy, according to Mike Weiger last time, was that you let the person up here speak the whole thing and then you speak back to them. And she didn't get to finish her speaking. I just want to point that out because that is something that is very dear to me when I'm up here speaking. I want my
But,
full 3
but
minutes.
the conversation was really over, Courtney, not that it's any of your business. We need it, we need information before we can get it, and I understand her concern, and absolutely, I have kids, grandkids in this district too, and I want them to be safe. I have some of my best friends are in this district teaching, so. It's very concerning, but yeah. Thank you. All right, let's move on to action items.
Action item number 1, Common Lit ELA instruction material. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase of the Common Lit ELA instruction materials for grades 6 through 12 in the amount of $30,825 from section 31A funds. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Fields. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Ms. Block.
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
Yes.
Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Medarsky.
Yes.
That passes 7-0. Number 2 is the Jimmy Casa and Associates. It is recommended the Board of Education to approve the agreement for contractual services with Jimmy Casa and Associates in the amount of $48,500. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Moore. Is there a second?
Support.
Second by Ms. Fields. Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Ms. Block?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Medarsky?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
That passes 7-0. Number 3 is the Frontline Suite of HR and Operational Software Solution. It is recommended the Board of Education to approve the purchase of the Frontline Suite of HR and Operational Software Solutions for a 3.5-year contract with the first 6 months including implementation in the amount of $79,134.79. Year 1 in the amount of $92,835.95. And year 2 in the amount of $95,621.03. And year 3 in the amount of $98,489.67. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Moore. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Block. Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Ms. Block?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
No.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Medarsky?
No.
Mr. Morris?
No.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. That passes 4-3. Number 4, student reinstatement, number 01-1119-2025, policy number 5610.03. The review committee is recommending the Board of Education approve the full reinstatement of student number 01-1119-2025. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Morris. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Moore. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Medarsky?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
That passes 7-0. Number 5 is the Michigan Association of School Personnel Conference, policy number 6550. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the overnight conference request for Patricia De La Torre to attend the Michigan Association of School Personnel Conference in Lansing, Michigan, December 3rd through December 5th. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Black. Is there a second?
Support.
Second by Ms. Fields. Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Medarsky?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Ms. Block?
Yes.
That passes 7-3. Number 6 is the public address system for Randall Elementary. It is recommended the Board of Education to approve the purchase of the public address system for Randall Elementary in the amount of $65,612. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Morris. Is there support?
Second.
Second by Mr. Medarsky. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Medarsky?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
That passes 7-0. Number 7 is a motion by Ms. Fields. There's a motion that the purchaser sell the unopened existing equipment which is stored in the warehouse. Any implementation of the process cease and desist, and the district continue with their current payroll process.
It should be time clock process. At
Their
the top,
current
I'm sorry.
time clock process.
Motion.
There's a motion by Ms. Fields,
Second.
second by Mr. Madarsky. Ms. Fields,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Madarsky,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a no, Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Ms. Black.
No.
That passes 5-2. Number 8. There's a motion by Ms. Fields that the Taylor School Board of Education have a confidence in Superintendent Michael Wager, his integrity to lead, follow laws, ensure the safety and educational process for all state Taylor School District students. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Fields. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Madarsky,
No.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Ms. Block,
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
Yes.
That passes 6-1.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. First off, it's going to be pretty short and sweet tonight. I want to thank all of our retirees who came out tonight, and even those ones who could not be here. There are so many different people in this school district who have given their time, given their dedication, and given their all on behalf of our students. And this is everyone from, our teachers, our principals, our cooks, our bus monitors, you name it. Everybody plays a big part in what we do to make sure that our students are successful and they are getting the things that they need. And I appreciate everyone who's put that time in to their career and dedicated it to us here in the Taylor School District. The only other thing I want to bring up is I know we're coming into the holiday season here. I'm really happy, really pleased with the efforts that everybody is taking to provide for our students and our families that are in need. We do have a tremendous amount of families within our community who need our support, who need those extras. And I absolutely love seeing everybody come together and be able to provide in any way that they can for those families as we go into this season. And with that said, I know next week we have a shortened week where we're only in session Monday, Tuesday, and then we will be off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for Thanksgiving. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Any board member comments? Anybody have anything to
I
say?
would like to thank Mr. Jason Gribble for his years here at the Taylor School District. This is his last board meeting. He will be a retiree on December the 2nd or December the 1st.
So we'll see you here next year when we're doing the next crop of retirees. Is that where we'll see you? I know I'll see you around other places probably, but
And I would just like to say thank you for everything that you've done for our students with the Career Center. I'm impressed. You did a wonderful job. It's been very nice knowing you. Anyone else? All right, the consent agenda. Oh, that's you.
Moving on to the consent agenda, policy number 0166.1, policy number 6470, policy number 8640, and policy number 2304. Minutes from the committee of the whole meeting from November 5th, 2025. Consolidated items, payment of current bills, certified, non-certified, and administrative report. Out-of-state overnight field trips and out-of-state overnight grant-funded conferences. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Morris. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Moore. Mr. Madarsky?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt is a yes. Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Ms. Black?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
Okay, items scheduled for next agenda. We have the Adult Transition Program, a Polar Plunge. Can't wait to hear what that's about. Now we have time for general public comment, and this can be on anything. Is there anyone wishing to address the board? And I forget to remind people to state their name and address.
Yes, ma'am.
please.
Patrick Wetzel, 2665 Eureka Road. Just come back for, the monthly check-in.
Yeah, as I say, if you want to talk to me after the meeting, I do have some updates. So
Gotcha.
we did get the survey out and we were able to see now how many students are interested, so I can fill you in and bring you up
Gotcha.
to speed. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I don't think you need my address, but anyways, my name is Roxanne Allen and I am interested in knowing about the teacher that is on administrative leave with pay. Is he still on administrative leave?
I'm leaving that to Mr. Weiger. Nothing has been brought to this board regarding that teacher. I will say that.
Okay.
So
do we
I
want to
can't
discuss
go
that or not?
into, well, I should say, I can't go into details of any ongoing investigations or personnel activities, because that could compromise investigations that are happening. That could also be an issue with employment law if we share things that are confidential and out there. So I don't have anything further to comment than what's been put out and what statements have been out there.
Okay, well, I mean, I haven't heard anything. And we've got some teachers, some mothers that are being retaliated against, having to prove their address. Their kids are having problems now with all of this that's going on. So, anybody say anything about that?
So in the pupil accounting department, one of the things that is standard practice in most school districts when you finish the count, because you can't claim students who are outside of the residency unless they have all the proper paperwork on file. So it is very common in all school districts to run a list. We have sent out, I would say, over 75 notices to different families about needing corrections on where their addresses are. But that's just standard practice of making sure that what we report to the state is accurate to what's in our record books.
But not personally attacking the parents who are
Well, like I said, we had
questioning
over
this
75
individual.
different letters that went out and phone calls that were made over the last week.
Okay. So this teacher has been doing this for 30 years and it has been swept under the rug. There've been multiple complaints filed by past students, current students. So, I mean, paid administrative leave. Are you trying to protect his pension?
That is untrue rumor. There's nothing to do with that, but we really can't speak to that. But yeah, that is untrue. It's rumor. It's not factual. So, but we can't speak to that publicly regarding personnel issues.
Okay.
So.
I do have a question though, just to follow up, because this came up from a parent asked me. So we are a school of choice. So if someone does live outside the district, wouldn't they just have to refile the address and their child could still stay here? How does that work?
Well, there are windows of time that those applications are allowable, and we're not currently in the window of time when those are out there. So if that's all done properly in the window, then yes, we would absolutely have that on file and ready to go.
So someone who lives outside the district, as long as they follow the rules, can still come here.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. Yep.
But if you say you live in Taylor and you don't, then that can be a problem.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else wishing to address the board? Welcome.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I'd like to start off by saying, I appreciate the work that y'all do. And I'm never here to demify anybody. That's not my goal in life. It's to find solutions. I can't necessarily speak to, all the allegations that, Ms. Volk is speaking to, but I do know the defendant quite well. I mean, I actually looked up to a man for a long time. I mean, still to this day, I love him. So I won't demonize him as well. But what I would say is that I've seen a lot of good teachers here. A lot of good people here that have been very influential in my life. This man is one of those as well, too. So I would ask that you be judicious and compassionate in your thought process over this situation over all parties. You know, I'm a child that was kind of neglected at the same time when this was going on, changing grades, abusing students, athletes. Me, my children were part of this school district as well. And the same thing were done to them. We just recently discussed it. Something kind of stays hid, you know, something we really never want to discuss. but when this came out, and I know a lot of guys that were ruined, a lot of girls that were ruined, but that's not the same thing about the school district. That's just good people and bad people everywhere. You just have to do your due diligence in your vetting process and having an open door policy where people aren't demonized and people don't feel bad for coming and saying, well, this is what's transpired and this is what we're going through. We need to have more this and more this for all parties involved. I'll be coming back quite often. I used to work at the board office, so it's kind of special to me.
Very good. You say your name and address to our friends.
I'm not a Taylor resident anymore. My name is Curtis Johnson, formerly Curtis Brown. So when I was through the school district and my kids came through the school district, we're just recent graduates, but they're Johnsons as well.
Thank you.
I'll be seeing y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the board?
Courtney Prout, 9846 Catherine. So I have a couple things. I wanted to start with, that I received an email, last week from from my daughter's principal stating that Emily Graham needed me to fill out a new opt-out form because it's now district policy that there's an opt-out form that I have to use that you guys provide for me now with the board, all of your names at the bottom. And it is considered to be policy through multiple emails. It was discussed that this is Taylor School District policy, and that is why I need to fill this form out now. And that my current opt-out form that is on file prior to you guys giving me one that you deem is now board official, is not going to be upheld anymore. That my daughter is not going to be opted out of the things that I asked her to be opted out of until I fill out the district form that you guys have for me. Couple of problems with that is when I read through that form, the first part of it states that I need to give every piece of curriculum or lesson that I want my child opted out of, which is very hard to do considering I reached out to your FOIA coordinator, Mr. Weger, and Emily Graham, and asked for a list of those things. Because how is it possible that a parent fill out all the things they want their children to be opted out of if they don't have a list of what their children are learning in the classroom? And then the second piece of that was you guys had asked that I fill out why this goes against my religious beliefs. And that is, quite frankly, none of your business why that goes against my religious beliefs. I do not have to give you that information. It is part of the law. Mahmoud versus Taylor states that I have the option to opt my child out of anything that I feel is up against my parental or religious beliefs. So I do not have to fill that out. So not only is that concerning that I'm being asked why I want to opt my child out of these things, but also that I'm the only parent that got this, me and another parent. And we got this simply because we came forward and gave our own opt-outs because you didn't offer me one. So now that I wasn't offered one, I created my own. Well, rather I got one from a website and I used that one. And now I'm being told that one is not going to be upheld and that I need to fill out yours. So a couple questions here is how, as a board, are you expecting parents to fill out an opt-out form to opt their children out of things that we don't know what is being taught? You guys can't give me that list. And when I sent that list in, I was given a 10-day extension letter. Like I sent in a FOIA. Like I FOIA'd for this information. This is not a FOIA. This is a direct parental ask of the curriculum that's being taught in my child's classroom so that I can go through, make a checklist of which things I don't want her subjected to, and then I can opt out of them. So I'm very concerned as to why this now board approved opt-out form was given to me to do this without any underlying information. And I'm the only parent that got it, besides one other one that also sent the same form that I sent in to her principal as well. So my question to you guys is, first of all, we need to fix the form because we can't send out a form that asks parents to, not that you guys sent it out, you only sent it out to those that I had one on file already. But I also want to make sure that from this point forward, I will turn in a slip over here because I do want an email back. I'm not getting an email back from anybody ever when I email. So I'll send over a slip over there, but I want to make a note that on record right now, my child is opted out of curriculum at the school district level. Under Mahmoud versus Taylor, that is an acceptable option until I receive a full list of curriculum that she is in her classroom that I can opt her out of. So at this point, I want that on record that she is currently opted out. And if anything goes against that, it's not, you're going against the state law.
Of all curriculum, did you say? She's opted out of all curriculum, you said?
Nope. She's opted out of the things that I want her opted out of, which is clearly written on a sheet of paper, my name signed at the bottom, my husband's name at the bottom, because you guys didn't offer that. And now that I filled that out, it's offered now.
Thank you.
Mind you, just so the board knows, this is supposed to be offered from June. The
What gr-
district should have given this out to everybody starting in June, and it has never been given out.
What grade is she in?
She's in third grade
Thank
at
you.
Kenyon Elementary.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the board?
Hi, my name is Stephanie O'Donnell. I am a resident of Taylor. I have 4 kids in the district. I absolutely had no intention of speaking today until listening to her. 2 of the principals have declined my opt-out. I've sent it. I've received a letter from one of the principals stating that your opt-out doesn't work because it's not our district opt-out. And I find your district opt-out form manipulative in the wording. It's not all encompassing, regardless of, like she said, my religious beliefs are none of your business. I'll tell you, I'm a very proud conservative Christian, but to go into details to ask me that is unacceptable. I shouldn't have to explain that for my kids, and I wouldn't expect you to do it for yours. So you asked her kid's age and grade. I'm here to get answers for some other parents, not just my own kids, neighbors. Are you going to reach out to us to let us know what your policy and procedure is going to be now? Because it seems very scattered between the principals, the different schools, and the school board. Do you reach out to us? Do we have to reach out to you?
Well, obviously, the process needs to be, and what I can say is that we will ensure that we have opt-out forums and that each principal is recognizing those, or each administrator, and Mike.
Yeah.
can probably
Well, I was gonna say
say
too, and
something.
we've had discussions about uploading this in the future as part of the return to school, when you do all the work in MyStar and you update and put all those things, that this will be there in that capacity in the future. We've had those discussions to make this a lot simpler and a lot.
Okay, is there an anticipated time frame? Because
I have
if
to
my,
discuss that with the people who worked on that. I don't have that off the top of my head.
so to be
Well,
fair,
my
to say
question is, so when did the board approve the new form she's talking about, or did we approve it?
within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, was this an item we voted on? That's my question. I
No,
don't
there's
recall.
plenty of forms that we don't come to the board for votes. We don't take emergency cards, how they're written before the board for a vote. We don't do those things, so.
No, only those who have actually attempted to turn in our own opt-out forms after being told there were none. We're the ones that ended up getting the follow-up email about the district form. No other parent has.
All right, so I'm sure someone can email me a copy of this thing. I've never seen it, so, well, okay.
Yeah, we can get you
Yeah, I've never seen this thing. Okay.
So would it
I
be?
don't want the board getting blamed for something we've never seen.
Would it be fair to say that my current opt-out form that I've turned in is sufficient? Because as with her, my kids absolutely have that right. And just because a certain teacher or principal doesn't want to respect that, that doesn't change that I turned it in, and my rights as a parent need to be respected.
You're absolutely right. We will work on a process and make sure that that is followed by administrators, that your child is not included in anything that you don't want them included in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, back again. I'm
Name.
Crystal from Dearborn, Syracuse. Don't need my address because I don't dox myself. But these opt-outs that were given in, I can tell you legality wise. If your district lawyer looked at this opt-out that was given in, that was rejected by the 2, you guys rejecting this opt-out was asinine. That's the truth. The one that was given out to these 2 moms that I seen, and you compare the 2, which one do you want that's gonna opt out somebody from the legality, from the lawsuit that the district is going to face one of these days, Morris? Or do you want a blind opt-out that you have to go in FOIA to opt out what? How many curriculums along with the databases with the curricula? You are asinine, Morris.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? Anyone online?
All right. Anybody online?
We have
One?
one on-
Go ahead. Thanks, Corey.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
All right. I just it kind of crazier the more I listen, but I just want to remind this board what your job actually is. You're elected to serve the Taylor community, not dismiss it. Uh, your decisions, your conduct, your transparency are absolutely the business of every parent, taxpayer, and resident in this city. That is a responsibility you accepted when you chose to sit on that seat. So when a community member is told that something is none of their business, it comes off as not only inappropriate, but frankly downright obnoxious. Everything you do is our business. That's how public office works. Your role is to listen, to answer, to engage, and to represent, not to shut the people down. I really think it's time at some point to remember who you actually work for and act accordingly. And while we're on the topic of responsibilities, maybe someone on this board can explain why a rogue assistant superintendent is suddenly creating policy overnight. Now I have a superintendent comparing opt-out forms to emergency cards, which is crazy to me. You know, creating policy overnight and issuing demands that have never been reviewed, discussed, or approved by this board. One of the main things a school board is to do is to create policy, vote on it, and that wasn't done at all. That alone is a serious breach of process. Even more concerning is that the same assistant superintendent who openly talks all across social media that about leaving this country anytime things get hard is somehow being allowed to make policy decisions for our students, our kids, and staff. And I'm wondering if you guys can speak to that and how that is even remotely acceptable.
Yeah. I have no comment. Are you finished, Mr. Prout?
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, this is Stephanie Smolinski. I have a couple concerns actually about this opt-out form that I was not informed of. If it's truly a different district policy, why is it only being selectively ruled out?
Is that your?
And,
Go ahead.
and also, one of these curriculums I'd be concerned about is the second step program that is being taught to elementary students without being informed. And as Mike Wager had stated, this is a non-district approved curriculum. So why were we not informed?
Is that your only questions?
I mean, my questions could keep going as you answer them. Seeing as I feel like I've been dismissed at, now this will probably be my third board meeting.
You didn't have to repeat that. We can't understand.
You can't understand that I have been dismissed in previous board meetings bringing up these concerns about SEL, which seems to be DEI for what Wager states in his last letter is sent out to parents. And now other parents are receiving curriculum opt-out based on what? Based on curriculum that we can't even view until a parent raises concerns because our children are already exposed to it. And mind you, again, this is non-district approved curriculums.
Why there was an opt-in form for what took place in Holland.
Only after I had raised concerns. This has been taught in other schools within the district, elementary, Blair Moody specifically, just last year. Those parents were not informed of this.
Yeah, I cannot speak to what happened last year because I was still recovering from cancer.
You were still a board member though, correct?
Excuse me?
You were still a board member at that time? Did it not cross your table? Were you uninformed? I assume you weren't because during our phone call, you had actually stated that you were uninformed of the secondhand or second step curriculum until 3-4 days prior when I posted my misleading post on Facebook. It's pretty sad that I have to take more confidence in those posting those quote unquote misleading posts than I have confidence in you guys as a school district or a school board.
Anything else?
Some answers to my questions.
That would be up to Mr. Wager at this point. I'm not
we will
sure if he's
reach out.
prepared to answer you right now.
You're not prepared to answer a question about you guys putting a non-district approved curriculum into the school without parents' acknowledgement or the option to opt out?
Not at this moment, no.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the board online? Let's move forward.
Hi, can you guys hear me? This is State Representative Jamie Thompson. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you're ready, Phil.
Yeah, I just wanted to share with the board and with parents that everything that has been happening in Taylor that seems like it's just exploding and bursting from the seams. And I have received in my office multiple emails within probably about 50 from parents with all kinds of concerns and at various levels of curriculum, opt-out forms, bullying curriculum, bullying, the Taylor Teen Health Center, some allegations against some teachers that have been inappropriate, and robotics. It could go on and on. What I would really urge the board to do is to take serious these concerns from parents, because this is not going to go away. This is going to get worse. And I will tell you that it got to the level that today I received a phone call from a lobbyist, Clark Hill lobbyist organization in Lansing, that represents all of the in-school health clinics in the state of Michigan, except for the Taylor Teen Health Center, which is run under Corwell, and Corwell's lobbyist is GCSI. They are all very concerned about what is happening in Taylor, so much that they reached out to me with their lobbyist to inform me that they were told that the anti-bullying program that has been run for 10 years through the Taylor Teen Health Center and Taylor schools was always in middle school and elementary school, or middle school and high school. And that this year, a decision was made to put that program into elementary schools, upper elementary schools, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And they apologized for not informing the parents that these individuals would be going into the school to discuss anti-bullying, which is very important. I applaud them for doing so. It is important that our kids are taught this, and I even spoke with them and said that maybe the curriculum needs to be changed, because I'm still receiving a ton of concerns from parents whose child has been bullying, and they felt like the school had not appropriately addressed it, and they were pulling their kids. Couple parents pulled their kids and sent them to Taylor schools. Couple kids are saying they're pulling their kids out of Taylor schools and they're going to homeschool them. I don't want you guys to lose kids, but I want you guys to take these concerns serious. Something else that I was told was the gentleman, John, that was going into the school, was told and reprimanded by Corwell Health to not wear shirts that would be misconstrued. The shirts that he has all over his social media about gender roles are toxic. And I know this is his personal life, but he is representing Corwell. Then I also found out today that all of the other health clinics in the state of Michigan they're under federal guidance because they receive federal dollars. However, the Taylor Teen Health Center does not. So something else that we're going to be looking into is where they're receiving their funding and how we can make sure that parents are a part of the conversations they're having and not pulling parents out of conversation. I want to work with you guys. Mark has the superintendent has my contact. I want to be the bridge between you and the parents, but I can tell you right now, you guys have to start listening to parents' concerns, bringing them to the table, and showing that you care about the parents, because they're
Representative Thompson.
Is this Jamie Thompson? No, I just have a quick question. This is Representative Jamie Thompson, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I called your office 2 Fridays ago because parents had contacted me. It was November 7th I called. I spoke to a male, probably about 1 o'clock. I identified myself, Justin Mordarski, trustee of the Taylor School Board. I left my phone number. I said, I really wanted to talk to you. He assured me you'd call me. I'm still waiting for that call. So it's not that I haven't reached out. I absolutely did. Friday, so not this Friday, but the Friday before that, which would be, I think, November 7th, I did call. It was around 1 o'clock and I'm just waiting for a call back. I would love to talk with you about this. So we have tried, or at least I tried. So I did want to put that on the record.
Thank you. I would like to just follow up with that, Representative Thompson. We have absolutely listened to parents and we take into consideration, there has to be, with the CAB, it was brought to my attention over the summer. We put a procedure together and a policy together and have listened to parents. It's very difficult, when you are being judged on Facebook, with rumor and inaccurate information. So that's where we're at, and I would appreciate working with you, absolutely, because we like to work with our legislators. But remember, we're being judged. Facebook is judge and jury here, and the bulk of it is inaccurate information. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the board? Is anyone else online? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Kathy Fields, any
Second.
support? Mark Westfall, Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Schufelt, Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Ms. Black,
Yes.
Ms. Fields,
Yes.
Ms. Moore is a yes, Mr. Mordarski.
Yes.
That passes 7-0. We adjourn at 8:22. Thank you.